How's it going, everybody? In this video I'm going to be showing you how you can remote access your mining devices that are running on Windows using a dummy HDMI plug. Alright, so let me walk you through the steps here. First thing you're going to need to do is actually log in, plug a monitor into your mining rig, because you're going to need to install software on it first before we can even start the remote access. So on the mining rig itself, you're going to go to tightvnc.com. This is a free open source piece of software. Works really good, super simple for this purpose. And we're going to go ahead and click on download now and go ahead and download the version. We're running 64-bit, so let's go ahead and do the 64-bit installer here. Wait for that to download, and then we will run through the installation setup. Hit next, we'll accept the terms. We're going to do the typical installation because we want to install the full software here so that we can remote access it. So we'll click typical, leave all those checked, click on next, and then click on install. It will prompt us here for password for remote access. Highly recommend a password here because you are opening this up to your network. You could even open this up to remote access outside of your network. This video we're just going to look at local access in your network, but you definitely want a password of some sorts. So we'll type a password in there and click OK. Oh, the administrative password. You could set one there as well if you want. You use the same thing. For this case, I'm just not going to set one. That's to change the administrative settings and things like that. So click OK, and now we're installed. We click finish. And now we're ready to remote access this mining machine. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug the physical monitor, and I'll show you the dummy HDMI plug that I'm using. And then we'll come back and we'll install the rest of the software on the computer that you're going to be using to access your mining rig. Alright, so this is the first thing you'll need to do is plug that HDMI dummy plug into the HDMI port on the graphics card. I don't know if it matters too much which graphics card you choose, but I do like to use the one that is plugged into the kind of the primary PCIe slot. I don't know if that makes a big difference, but to me it makes it seem like that would be the one that would boot up first. Before I go any further, link for these dummy plugs that I'm using are in the video description if you want to click on that, and you can grab those on Amazon. They're only a couple bucks, they're super cheap. Alright, so now that this is plugged in, we'll turn the mining rig back on, and then I'll show you the setup to get this going. Okay, now that we have the HDMI dummy plugged in and the mining rig turned back on, that has now booted up and it is running that Tightvnc software that we just installed physically on it, but now there's no monitor connected to that mining rig. So now we're back on my desktop here in the office. We're going to go ahead and run an installer again for Tightvnc. So same thing, but we're installing it on my desktop now. Click next, accept the terms again. And in this case, I'm going to do custom, and I'm only going to install the viewer. So I'm not going to install the server, just the viewing software. You could install the server if you want to remote access your main desktop as well, but just for security and things like that, I don't want any remote access into my main desktop. I just want to be able to view the mining machines. So I'm only going to install the viewer here. I have that selected as unavailable. Click on next, and click on next, and then install. And you'll notice this time it did not prompt us for a password because we did not install the server. Now, we're going to click on start and open up Tightvnc. So now we have the actual connection ready to go here. So what you would need to do now to remote connect to this computer that we just set up is type in the IP address, or better yet, name your mining rig, and probably should have told you to do this in the previous step, so I apologize. But name the computer, change the name of your computer to something that's easy to type in. So what I've done with mine is I've named them rig 1, rig 2, rig 3, so I know which one is which. Super easy. Just go into the settings in your computer, you can change the name, or you can just write down the name of the computer that is already set. So the one that I just set up was already named rig 4. That was the name of the computer. Again, you could find the IP address. That's a little more technical because you have to go figure out what the IP address is of it. But rig 4, and I'm going to click on connect. It's going to prompt me here for the password. That was the password that you set up in the last step. Click on OK. And now we are logged in right here to our remote mining rig. So this is running nice hash on Windows, and we have our our machine set up here. Let me show you, since I'm now logged into it remotely, let me show you how to change the name. So in case you need to rewind a couple steps here, you just go into settings on Windows. So open up your settings here, go to system, and then go down to about. And right here, there's an option that says rename this PC. If you click on that, you can type in whatever you want it to be, right? So it's currently named Rig 4. Yours is going to be named probably something random unless you've already named it. But you can change the name there, click next, it'll restart the computer, and then you know the name, which just makes it super simple because the IP addresses could change, especially on like a home network, things like that. But that's how I set up remote access to my mining rigs. It's super helpful because you don't have to run out there with HDMI cables and monitors and keyboards to plug in every time. You can just simply remote access in this way. The only one thing you want to make sure is that your computer is set to boot straight into the desktop or straight into Windows. Every now and then, sometimes like a Windows update happens, and you get this screen where it's like asking you for prompts. VNC will work once you get to the Windows login screen, so you could set a password if you wanted to for Windows. That won't break it. At least I don't believe so. But I have mine set to go straight into the desktop. No password set, so that if I lose power or I need to restart them, when I physically press the button on the mining rigs that boot them back up, I'm getting straight into the desktop. VNC's kicking in, I can log in, and I can do updates and make changes right from here. So, hope this video is helpful. Leave a comment in the down below if you have any questions, or if you're trying to set this up, have any questions on that. The link for those HDMI dummy plugs is also down there. Now be sure to check that out. They're, like I said, super cheap, so grab a couple of those and get yourself set up this way. If you like this video, give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more mining, crypto mining videos, as well as tech reviews and other content. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video.